I'm continuing Phoenix Wright Incertainty Justice for All. This is the 5th part, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. Alright, got the chat open and everything. Alright, let's continue then, shall we? Good morning, Max. Max? Milk. What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Stage? Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick, Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties. What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom, it just wouldn't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max, just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie, what is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? Can see it now, the dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really, no one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. Oh boy. If even Phoenix is getting affected now by that level of silliness. And now the case of one... What? Your Honor, get on with it. Oh, sorry, I just realized the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So, well, isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor, it does often go by that name. You know my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I sense a whip crack coming soon. Think everyone here wouldn't mind if we called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. I wonder if that is to our advantage. Ms. Von Karma, your opening statement, if you please. I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Eh? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. It did not count, do you hear me? You must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance. Zero, zilch, nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of Von Karma to lose anything. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. It's not like it'll bring your dad back. There, opening statement complete. Now let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. Very well, you may call your first witness, Miss Von Karma. Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up there now. Poor guy. Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective. Don't mention it. It's no trouble at all. I've been looking forward to this. Very well, I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. Alright, Detective, you may proceed with your testimony. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped the vertebrae in his neck. I see, he was beaten to death. Here is the autopsy report for the victim. The court accept this into evidence. Others report added to the court record. Blunt object. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Sorry about that. Can't sit comfortably for no apparent reason. Okay. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. Let me ask you about the snow. It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe at about an inch and a half was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. The snow. Let me see. There's got to be more to this. Hey, what's the matter, Nick? I need to take a look at the court record. Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime? Yeah, what he means is the fact that there were no other
footprints at the scene of the crime.
Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime? All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. When you say all of the circus performers, who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina, the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course the defendant Maximilian Galactica and his victim the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot, Regent the tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Detective, you are welcome to file a police report after these proceedings. Practice session broke up around 10 p.m.
That seems significant.
After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with Regent, while Mo went back to his room tired from work. Ben the ventriloquist went to the front gate, absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately. Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? It seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the event at 10:15 p.m. Okay, not a problem, pal. We've got a witness that— Ow! This is totally meaningless. Time to move on. Alright, we'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. A wooden box? That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than it looked, not to mention it was locked. Locked, you say? It boasts a small but strong lock. 12 pounds. This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. It's the contents that interest me most. Do you mind telling us what was inside that box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle. A bottle? What is that, detective? Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? It's filled with pepper. Pepper, why in the world was it locked in that big box? There was only one little bottle in that huge box. I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. Isn't that a box that has like a fake bottom or something? If it's a circus accessory, right? Small seasoning bottle added to the court record. Found inside the wooden box. The victim was hunched over. It contains pepper. Snapped the vertebrae in his neck. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? Yeah, and what was it exactly? What object? You've done your homework, pal. And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak. My theory is that it is something the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene.
I bet he made it disappear with magic. Oh, oh, oh.
Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now. I guess that's all we're gonna get out of Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're gonna get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up with the detective, I'd like to call my next witness. Hey, I'm not even off the stand yet. Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint. I know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Yeah, right. I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. She must be talking about Ben, the ventriloquist. I wonder if Trilo will show up on the stand as well. Please state your name and occupation for the record. You have to excuse my yawning, but I've not slept as much as I would have liked last night. My full name is Trina Chris. I am employed as an operating tenor. Excuse me? The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist. That room must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was a singer. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. Me. The world of the law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence, decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think? It has a good rhythm. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trilo, you know better than to insult a judge. Shut up! Just look at your nose. You would think you have the sense to fix it. It's so ugly I want to punch you in the face on the off chance swelling would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star. Celebrities really enjoy seeing everything that flashes into their minds. What's going on here? Order! Order! I demand to know who the witness is. Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this. I'm not worried about you. Ouch. You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now let's proceed. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge, clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away.
You saw Maximilian
Galactica heading towards the scene. You're sure of that? Without a doubt. He had on his silk hat, cloak and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown? That's right, dress boy. Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime? He's got a point. What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit. Why is that? Here's absolute proof. A silk hat. This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Without question, he was wearing a signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene. Well done, Miss Von Karma. Your prosecutorial skills are unrivaled. Well done. Hold on. Oh, I thought I turned off the mic. Okay, no, never mind. Sorry. I needed a drink. And to do something about my nose as well. Hate these things. Okay. Back in business. Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay, I guess she's the boss again today. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the stooge, I mean clown. The clown? You're talking about Mo? Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic I can't stand him. Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup is running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to keeling over for good. Poor guy. We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first place loser, the guys are ahead of the pack. Then what happened? Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? You saw Max, and only Max, right, Trillo? That's right, and that makes him the killer. There was only one person headed that way that night. That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character. There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? Was it really Max? Wait a second. There was no proof that the witness saw Maximilian Galactica. Hey, you still don't get it, do ya? I saw what I saw. It was Max's three-piece joke of a costume. Alright, let's say it all together. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you. I think you should study up on your celebrities, Mr. Wright. Great, I'm getting shut down by a toy. Well, yeah, hold it. That's a bit strange, don't you think? What's strange? That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well? What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose the witness could have seen? Well, the victim, for one. That's the victim. That's correct. If Trillo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well. Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that one out. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room. Is that, according to the defendant, a likely story? If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime? It seems that at this stage I have no reason to doubt this witness's testimony. Yeah. There are clearly no conclusive contradictions. He's right. Yeah, I guess so. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now let's move along with the testimony. Trudeau wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Nick, wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head? Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene?
I suppose that would have been around 8. What time was it?
I think it was around, let's say, a bit after 10:30 p.m., I think. Right, this ended at 10 p.m., so you hung around the lodging house the entire time? I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather. Yeah, we've got the witness, the testimony of the gumshoe to say to account for the weather. Well, the truth is,
Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra?
why can't you believe that we just stand outside in that weather? Well, maybe you were waiting for someone.
What? Who said we were waiting for someone?
Objection!
Mr. Phoenix Wright, we could all do without your offhanded theories.
Objection!
But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something. Mr. Wright. It would have to be someone really important to him if he's willing to wait in the cold like this. So I'm going to take a guess. By the way, he's 31 and he's in love with a 16-year-old. That's quite a difference, I should say. Ah well. Well, that guy is an adult too, but if he's 21, yeah, even then I still find that a bit awkward. But anyway. What if he was waiting outside in the cold? It was from one person. It would have to be his sweetheart, and one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina. The puppet exploded or what? You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken? Is this true? Well, you can't really ask me that question.
Who cares who I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it.
Well, the puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right. Heh. Alright. There is obviously a reason why the witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought.
Ah!
That makes perfect sense.
Objection!
What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
No. He saw it. He claims to have seen the defendant on his way to the scene of the crime, not at the scene of the crime. However, he did not see the victim on the way to his eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone, yeah, like Max. There was absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer.
I guess you got me. Alright. I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true, I was waiting for Regina.
Bane, don't volunteer things. Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time. And I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house?
I was waiting to propose to her.
You were what? waiting to propose?
What's the matter? You think that humans have a monopoly on marriage?
That the matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case.
You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit.
More pain. Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina.
I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I still got it in my pocket.
Are you sure? Because I've got it here. A cheap ring with an eerie sparkle. From T to R is engraved on it.
Don't be so obtuse. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love.
I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too. To a 16-year-old?
Exactly.
His honor is looking a little less than honorable right now. Okay, Mr. Wright, please continue with your cross-examination. What was that at the end?
Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her.
Yeah, about that. I have it in my inventory right now. What was it exactly that you planned on giving her?
You know exactly what I was going to give her, you numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question. What was it? You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring.
Engagement ring? Wow, those two nearly fell out of their chairs.
Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here.
Francisca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing would probably shut someone up for a long time. Let's push on anyway. Maybe something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to a human being. Ow! I advise you to get this argument short. I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please provide their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring. I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology.
You sure do enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe.
I planned on giving an engagement ring to Regina.
I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I still got it in my pocket.
So you are still thinking of trying to give it to Regina?
Of course I am. I spent 3 months' salary on this thing. I'm not gonna give up that easily.
I wonder how much he receives for appearing in the circus. Probably way more than he deserves. How about it, Nick? I think it's about time to unwrap the story's testimony. That's the spirit, Nick. Give him heck. The judge has that dazed and confused look again. Maybe you should get out more. Should I present it here? Yeah, I've got it right here. Trilo. Do you mind if I... Oh, wait. Wait. I know, never mind. What was his name again? His real name, Max? Because I was wondering if the initial could have been T as well. Ah, well. Trilo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it?
What are you talking about?
Uh-oh, looks like they're going to double team me now. Do you recognize this ring?
Ah, that's mine. Give it back. Thief.
Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said
In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? What is going on here?
That's... Ben, say something!
Hey, don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo. I found this in Money's room. Money's room? You mean a room they put money, like a bank vault?
Ah, the filthy monkey is gonna get what's coming to him.
Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my court.
Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word.
I see, well then. Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he can find and gather them up. Shiny things? Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was that time. Ah, shoot, I skipped part of the dialogue. Details, I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might, be able to say that. The ring might have, well, it could have been taken around that time.
Yo! Oh! Ben, what's with you? Oh, whatever. It has nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder.
It's not for you to decide what has to do with that. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand.
I haven't admitted a thing. Not I, Mr. Triloquist.
What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo?
You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey Money.
But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you? It's all this loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away. That is indeed an incredible shame. Well, this does indeed prove one important point. Yeah, what point could that possibly be? That it has a flaw. There's a huge contradiction in the witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness just testified to the following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza. What is the meaning of all this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You tell me. It's your witness. Why the lies? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there is no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. She probably has another witness because the clown said that he saw Max too, I think. Interesting, Mr. Wright. Well then, tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist? I can't read for shit today.
And I keep yawning, and that's really not good. Oh, please, stop yawning.
Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying. He is blinded by his rivalry with Max. Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant.
What? How dare you? I wouldn't like just to get that dork face in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him. No doubt about it. I saw that worthless liar.
Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night.
I've told you so many times you'd think you'd know my story is not changing.
You've already changed your story, Stick Boy, and I'm sure it will change some more. When there is one lie, there are usually many more behind it. Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him. Yeah.
I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina, but that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes.
I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence.
I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. It seems pretty obvious to me that someone was wearing them to get the other guy to get accused. There's no doubt in my mind about that. So that means that Money didn't show up until after you saw Max. That's right, Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring and you went chasing after him? How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting? Well, let's see. I'd say about, I suppose, 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived on the scene in that 5-minute stretch. Please proceed with your cross-examination. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina, but that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes.
What if he was going to have a different voice if he dared talking? That would be a reason enough to not acknowledge his presence.
So you testified that you said good evening to Max that night. You must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You say good morning in the morning and good afternoon during the day, right? And it's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night. What, Ben? You've got something to add? Let me guess, that's not it, Trillo. You say good evening at night. I'm sorry, Trillo. Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you kept your ventriloquist's act outside of the courtroom. Impossible! The performer lives and breathes as his performances. You should know better. Isn't that a bit strange to you? What do you mean? Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? Yeah. Strikes me as somewhat strange. Why would it strike you as strange? Exactly. How is it strange to be cordial to one of your co-workers? Well, they were not exactly in good terms, so... Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a co-worker, I would understand. Ow, that hurt! Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flapping next time. Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. There's no reason that Trudeau would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go about proving that with the evidence? Bluffing is everything in this world. I'm sure you already learned that one. I guess I can give it a shot. The witness will resume his testimony. You are 100% absolutely sure of what you just said. I told you already. Jeez, I am 100% absolutely sure. There's no way that they could be any more confident than that, right? Those 3 ridiculous symbols, huh? Out of curiosity, exactly how many times have you asked that question by now? You're gonna ask again, I answer with a chorus. Everyone together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you very much. Maya, you didn't have to join in, did you? But it's fun shouting out with everyone else. There has to be a hole in this testimony somewhere. I agree, but do we have the proof to make something stick? All we can do is try, right, Nick? Why being so nice after the fight you just had? But Francisca might not know about this, so... Trillo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. It wasn't that big of a deal, it was just an argument, a disagreement at most. A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clunked over the head. Ah! That morning, Bet got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he? Is that an admission of assault and battery? Ouch! Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There is absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on stand. There is no way a puppet this lewd would just up and say good evening to his rival. Lewd? Are you saying this witness is lying? That he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the scene of the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie. Honestly, I just... That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night? Well, it would have seen the victim. So that would be a different person. It is my belief that the witness didn't indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all. If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all, which means there is only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trillo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it. What in the world? You! Would the defense kindly explain what it was Trillo saw that evening then? Considering the ill temper of this witness, there is only one person he would greet. It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute. No, Your Honor, it is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trillo would have given her the engagement ring as a present. Oh, yeah, I suppose you've got a point there. It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not? You are correct, it was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trillo, isn't that correct? Answer the question, Mr. Quist. Order, how do you respond to this? Well, wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man. But once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica. Why? I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica, or was it the ringmaster, one Mr. Russell Berry? The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols. Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man, you've got to remember them by now. Here we go again. Everyone, all together now. Ow! Yes, we know, the silk hat, cloak, and wet roses. A silk hat and a cloak? Anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry. What? This one, Karma. Do you have clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant?
Well, if that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point. Yes, I think we finally won a point in this one. That is very unfortunate. There was another witness, wasn't there? You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza at night. I applaud you on your effort, but... Who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Huh? Your Honor, the prosecution will provide beyond a shadow of a doubt an answer to that question, and evidence that clearly establishes one thing. That there is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime. Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare the next witness, and the court is now in recess. Hey, I've completed another part already. I think I'm going to stop after the next one, though. Because I just keep yawning, and I think I'd rather, like, rest a little, perhaps. But I do want to put in some progress at the very least. Like, go a bit further. That first part of the trial has already been going on for nearly 2 hours, since they started at 10 a.m. Sweetie, you have to believe me, I didn't go anywhere near that crime scene. So then, where were you when the murder took place? We talked about it yesterday, remember? I was in the ringmaster's room. And while you were there, it was the ringmaster who left the room, right? Exactly, he told me to wait in the room because he would be right back. That's when the ringmaster headed to the scene of the crime, right? That's what it seems like. But the ringmasters must have been wearing Max's costume, right? Oh, sweetie, I just remembered. I went straight to the ringmaster's room still dressed in my stage clothes. But when I got there, I went ahead and took the costume off. He might have just worn them to protect himself from the cold, right? I mean, that wouldn't be too out of the ordinary to put something on to go out in the blizzard, right? That's what I think anyway.
It means that the ringmaster could have taken his costume and went out looking like Max.
Fabulous. That's a fabulously possible possibility. Hey, well done, Nick. However, sweetie, why would the ringmaster want to dress up like me? Isn't that a bit strange? If you think about it, all they found at the crime scene was my silk hat. What about my cloak? Where did that go? Wow, Max, I never thought of that. You should be a detective or something. Well, I was never quite sure what to be when I grew up, magician or president. Excuse me. Okay, I had to check that message. You have no idea how hard it was to make a decision. That's really cool. Fabulous. This mystery just keeps getting deeper. Now that everyone is back, let's get started. The court is now back in session. Ms. Von Karma, please proceed with the prosecution's case. Very well, I will now call my next witness. A pitiful clown with the unfortunate distinction of having seen the entire thing. Will Mr. Lawrence Curls please take the stand? That's the real name of the clown? Why did she just call him a pitiful clown? Maybe she doesn't like clowns. Oh, he looks sad now. The witness will state his name and occupation for the court record.
In West Philadelphia, oh shit, I didn't even get to read. Name and occupation. Will the witness please inform the court why he is speaking autobiographical gibberish? Oh, I'm sorry. Just not used to being in court. I never been in a courtroom in my life. I wasn't quite sure what joke is best suited to this sort of occasion. What in the world are you talking about? You're in a grand hall of justice, not some comedy club. Since it's easy to see your occupation, please state your name for the court. Oh yeah, maybe this joke is okay. Mom, do I have to wear pants? The sign only says no shirt, no shoes, no service. Aha! 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 Okay, how about this? Can you meet my proctologist, Dr. Seymour Butts? How was that one? Aha! 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 With a couple of clowns, blah 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 blah, and then she whips him in. Your name? Lawrence Girls, professional funny man, also known as Motor Clown. You witnessed the scene at around 10:15 p.m. the day of the murder. Correct? Yes, it is. Very well, Mr. Curls, will you please testify to what you saw that evening? A rabbi, a priest, and a Rastafarian walked into this plaza. Without the humor, please. Okay. Oh, poor Mo can't be his normal stoogy self in court. I know. I'm not the greatest comedian in the world. I haven't been able to make people laugh for 10 years. No matter what I say, all I get in return is a vacant stare and polite applause. Since no one ever laughs at my jokes, I've been taken to laughing at them myself. It's a bad habit, but hey, at least I'm trying. Imagine my predicament. I'm a clown who can't make people laugh. I'm almost useless. But I keep trying. I even tried to come up with jokes just for today. But this atmosphere is very nerve-wracking. I decided to try and making everyone laugh. Seriously, everyone, what do you think of me? How am I doing? Aren't we the ones supposed to be asking questions here? He didn't testify about anything. he just kept ranting or venting or whatever. We will listen to your call for help after the court proceedings are over. Thus, please stick to the facts of this case. Really? You really hear me out? Well, I'll make sure that one of my staff will be your straight man later. Thank you. I can't wait. I can't keep making the same voice as the puppet on that clown.
I can't do voices too well. Poor Gumshoe.
Now that that's settled, shall we begin once again with the testimony? Of course we can. I'll talk for as long as you want. What you witnessed. Finally. The night of the murder, after practice was over, I went straight back to my room. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. I didn't do that on purpose, sorry. That's when I saw two silhouettes. They were a bit far away, though. It was the ringmaster, and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden, Max clunked the ringmaster over the head. That's very interesting. If this eyewitness account is to be believed, I have enough to pass judgment right now. Of course you can. There is no way that this account can be criticized. However, the witness is a bit, how do you say, off-kilter. Almost like he has some sort of atmospheric guilt surrounding him. Aha! 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 That must be because of my insincere smile. Mr. Wright, please begin the defense's cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Yeah, I know. I know that. I have to find some contradiction. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, I'm afraid that if you push a witness too far, it would bring disaster upon the court. Thus, I sincerely hope you are not going to engage in pointless saber-rattling. I understand, Your Honor. If you cause this clown to stray from the facts, I'll hold you responsible. Why am I responsible? I'm not the one with the corny jokes.
The night of the murder, after practice was over, I went straight back to my room. You'd say that practice wrapped up around 10 p.m., correct? See, that's the thing. Huh? How exactly am I supposed to make a joke about 10 p.m.? Now 8 o'clock, that's something a clown can riff off of. Let's just pretend it was 8 o'clock. That way I can make a great joke. Let's not make it 8 p.m., alright, Mo? What do you mean let's not? Don't take the clown out of the clowning around. Come on, Nick, just listen to his joke. There are 3 reasons why I don't want to. 1, I probably won't laugh. 2, I'll get hit with a penalty. 3, I'll get whipped. Will the witness just proceed with his factual testimony? You are so boring. You have no idea how tired I was that night. I was pooped. I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before I did, I glanced out the window. You just happened to glance out of the window. You could say that. You could also say I peeked, stared, glimpsed, peeped, highballed. Mr. Curls. Oh, I guess synonyms aren't allowed either. What should I do? I wonder if I should press him further on this issue. Exactly why did you look out of your window that night? Why? Why? Clowns don't need a reason to look out their windows, do they? That's not what I meant. I meant that, well, when we spoke yesterday. Once I had tucked myself into bed, I heard this amazing noise. It was incredibly loud. It sounded like a giant thump. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You forgot? Your Honor, witness looked out of his window upon hearing a loud sound. He did not just simply glance out of his window that night. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that thump, didn't I? It's not something you just forget to mention. Yeah, what she said. I believe it would be best if Mo were to revise his testimony. Very well, Mr. Curls. Yeah, revise your testimony all you want. Two silhouettes. They were a bit far away. How can he know that? You'd say you clearly saw this, even though you weren't by your own admission far away? That's right, I had been thinking about it over and over since that night, but things didn't really make sense until I spoke with the prosecutor, Ms. Von Karma. And now I am 100% certain it was Max and the ringmaster that I saw that night. Just think about it. How could I be wrong if Max is always wearing his uppity, yeah, okay. Uppity symbols. Lawyers nowadays, do you even have to go to school anymore to be one? Alright, everyone knows what to do. All together now. Say it with Uncle Mo. See what I mean? I'm always like this. The crowd never wants to go along with me. I must really be utterly and completely worthless as a clown. Yowza! Enough foolishness, get back on track. Will the witness please testify as to what he saw and only what he saw? I kept watching them and all of a sudden Max clunked the ringmaster over the head. You know, Mo's testimony and what he told us yesterday are kind of different. Yeah, I know this. We just got to pinpoint what changed. You can do it, Nick.
heard a huge noise. Yeah, what kind of noise? What was the sound like? Well, I guess it kind of sounded like, I guess you could say... Girlies? Mr. Curls, may the court remind you that humor is unnecessary. Duh, how did you know that I was gonna make a joke? Aha, 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 aha. I guess that's the sound, the sound sounded like, I suppose it sounded like someone getting hit with something very hard. Yep, that's what it sounded like, honestly. Someone getting hit, huh? You went to look out the window and you saw... That's when I saw two silhouettes. They were a bit far away, though. It was the ringmaster, and he was with Max, who was wearing his cloak. I kept watching them, and all of a sudden, Max clonked the ringmaster over the head. You know, most testimony and what he told us yesterday are kind of different. Yeah. So he heard a big thump. Yeah. It wouldn't be something that I already have, would it be? Nah, I don't think so.
It doesn't help when all you feel like doing is sleeping. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I want to finish the part with the clown at the very least.
Silhouettes, huh? Far away, you say? If you had to say exactly, how far away were they? Let me think about that for a second. If my room is here, and they looked about yay big, I'd say they were about 30 feet from my window. Just 30 feet? That's not far at all. It was snowing that night, and it cut down on visibility. I see. Please continue with your testimony regarding the two shadows that you saw. You say you saw the ringmaster get clonked over the head? Yes, I did. It's the climax of my story. It really does enjoy the completely random non sequitur. What would you say the victim was struck with? That's the kind of information I've been waiting for since the beginning. You mean the weapon? I have no idea. A weapon wasn't found on the murder scene, right? That's not what I meant. You did say you did see everything, didn't you? Well, yeah, I suppose I did. Wait, no I didn't. I didn't see a weapon. Mo, did you or did you not see the crime of murder committed that night?
Objection!
I will not permit you to harass this witness. You'd better have an excellent reason for attacking this poor clown. Because if you don't, you know what is waiting for you. A nice penalty. Isn't this a bit melodramatic? So what will it be, then, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Do you have any clear basis to believe that my witness did not see the crime? Of course I do. I've got a great reason to make my claim. And I suppose you will be telling us all that great reason? Of course I will. The reason is the witness's very own testimony. What is the meaning of that, Mr. Wright? Mo said that he heard a sound like a thump of someone getting hit. He did say that, however Mo just stated the following under oath. I kept watching them and all of a sudden Max clunked the ringmaster over the head. If Mo is to be believed when he says he looked out the window upon hearing a sound, there is no way that he could have seen Max clonk anyone. Yeah, in 1972 a crack clown... Oh, shoot. Mr. Curls, how do you respond to Mr. Wright's assessment? They didn't commit. These clowns promptly escaped from maximum security clown car. Mr. Curls, are you reciting the C-Team theme to anger this court? No, I'm just stalling for time while I jog my memory. Great job, Nick. These types of witnesses always seem to have a selective memory. Just have to peel back the layers of the clown makeup to find the truth. Are you back from your jog? Pretty much happened the way I said.
When I looked out my window that night, the ringmaster was already face down in the snow. The prosecution helped me fill in the gaps of my statement.
Von Karma. Tampering with witnesses again. So now you are saying that you did not see the defendant clone the ringmaster. Yes, when I looked out of my window, the ringmaster had already checked out. Checked out? Yep, he was on permanent vacation. Yeah, whatever. Mr. Curls, Your Honor, you did not witness the actual crime. However, you still say you saw the criminal, correct? Yes, exactly. The ringmaster was slumped over and I saw someone's silhouette next to him. Very well, then please testify to this silhouette you saw. I expect the truth. And even if I even catch a hint of a joke from you, I will put you in the holding cell until you learn court etiquette. Got it? Got it. I'm sorry. I feel so tired. I have to stop. I'm afraid. I didn't think I'd feel so tired as I do right now. Well, this was a bit short. I'm sorry, but you're gonna see me again very soon. I promise. Maybe not tomorrow, but probably on Tuesday. I will be continuing this right from here. Cause I think I'm just gonna rest. So thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you next time. Okay? Okay. See you next time.